if I have, let's say, mini mountains, right? So I'm just I'm gonna just copy this. Let me just see if I have. Okay, let's turn it off. So if I have this copy, Command C, and then I can just paste them and then use them, and then it looks like many mountains. Now, there might be chance that I was working on the sun, right? So when the sun is on layer 4, and the mountains are layer 2, and like I was working on the sun, like move it a little bit, and then I want to put more mountains, and then so I remember I copied the mountains, so I'm gonna just paste them. Now, as you can see, I paste them into layer 4 because I don't have the paste to remember layers. So the mountains are layer 2, but now these newly pasted mountains are layer 4 because I was working on the sun. The layer 4 was selected. And when layer 4 was selected, I pasted these mountains without turning this on, paste to remember layers. So let's say if I checked paste to remember layers, then I was working on the sun, and if I do paste, I'll just do edit, paste, then as you can see, they're pasting into layer 2. See what I mean? Now, it's a, same thing for a separate document. Let's say, save. I'm gonna just save this. Save. Let's say plus. So I have saved this file, and let's say I have another save a copy, another copy, save class 4 copy, save. Okay. So whatever the reason you were working on some of the new, let's say whatever the reason, you created a document and then you have a copy of a document, and now you made a progress on this original file, the class 4, and you need to copy some of the elements, the newly created elements, into the copy document, let's say. Then, you know how the newly created objects? So I'm gonna select and then copy. And if I don't have paste to remembers layers checked, then it'll paste it into just whatever the layer that you happen to have selected. If you have paste to remember layers, then you paste into that original layer 2. See what I mean? So it doesn't matter. It's a copy of the file or even a new, let's say, even a new document. Let's say you have this copy, Command C from layer 2, and then here I only have a layer 1, but if I have paste to remember layers, then it should create a new layer like that, layer 2. Okay, you see the difference? If I don't, let's say, if I have a new document and I copy the objects from layer 2, and if I don't have this option checked, the option is unchecked, then if I paste and paste, then it'll just paste into whatever the layer that's available or selected. Okay? Any other questions? Oh, okay, go ahead. Okay, good. Any other questions? Everyone tried it? Okay. Sure. Right. So let's do it in this new document. So as you can see, this layer 1 has many path objects underneath sub layers, right? So each objects have, so for some reason, like let's say you're trying to create a GIF, right? Animated a GIF or something, and you want to just have these, hang on. Let's just make it a real case. Hang on, bear with me. So let's say you draw trees, right? And then whatever the reason, you want to like say, oh, the trees are growing or something. I'm not sure if I'm gonna show well, but let's say like you want to say like the animated GIF or animation, the trees are like growing from a like a empty lot. Then you need to kind of separate all these elements at one at a time. So let's say I'm just going to group this, Command G, so that they're grouped objects. Delete this. So let's say if you have a bunch of this, and if you just release to layers, then it'll just layer, just like put it in a separate layer, right? And then you can just treat it as a separate layer, right? So now that if you are working with a Premiere or like After Effects, then you can import Illustrator file with the layers, and then you can choose, or you can just kind of create a kind of animation in a way with this option. Also, there's an option that you can export. Let's see. Export layers as, let's see. Do I see it here? I might be confused with Photoshop, but there's an option with layers that you can just export them as a PNGs. So that you can do. One more time. So that was sequence, and then release to layers build is, let me just try that before I say it. So it will start from one tree, and then two trees will, so that there will be a copy there, right? So it just builds on top of previous layer. You see what I mean? So whereas the sequence, it kind of separates them all into separate layers, but build is building top of the previous layer. Okay, so you can just get it out, click and drag. Oh, by the way, I'm holding down Shift just to select everything. Let's see, Command works. Okay, so if you hold down Command, then or Control, then you can click and click to select whatever the layers that you only want. If you hold down Shift, well, first you click and then hold down Shift, and then click whatever the last one that you would like to. Then you will select all of them and whatever between. So, and then you select them. Then you can just drag it out of that layer, and then there are individual layers now. Let's see if there's any other layer. Okay, clipping mask. Enter isolation mode. Okay, flatten artwork. Maybe that's another thing that we should kind of go over. Not this one, but not with this one. So let's say it's we're gonna do again sequence, right? So now they're all on separate layers, right? The individual trees are separate layers. Now, if you want to just go back to what it was, or you can do Command Z, but let's say if you don't have that option, then I think you can just do flatten artwork or merge selected. So flatten artwork will just completely flatten whatever you have on the, let's say I'm gonna just try flatten artwork. So flatten artwork. So it will just make it just one single layer. If you do just select everything, or select just the top four and then do merge selected, then it'll just merge whatever was selected. There. Can you try those? It could be trees or circles. So what we've done is release 2 layers, sequence, release 2 layers, build, and then we did flatten artwork and merge selected.